We believe at Amazon Business that tail spend and indirect spend should be easy to manage for procurement teams. And that is our mission. We're on a journey continuously to develop our technology, digitalize, automate our processes, and we do that informed by our customers. And we'd love you to come by the Amazon Business stand at DPW over the next 2 days. Tell us about the challenges you're facing in tail spend and indirect spend. Be part of informing our roadmap about what it is you want to see in the future that would make your life easier. I'm not going to be talking today. I'm going to be handing over to our customers, and we believe that customers tell their stories best. So we have from Swarovski, Ralph and Daniela. You have the opportunity to ask questions in Slido, and they will also be at our stand after this session. So Daniela and Ralph, please come and join us on the stage. And before I exit, could you please just give us a twirl?
So also welcome from our side to our session. So let's see what we have on our agenda. So first we just give you a super short company introduction. Then we speak about the initial situation, so what was the problem. Then we will show you what was our tail spend approach. Then we will just speak a bit about Amazon Business, because this is for us a solution where we automated our processes, and then we just speak about the next steps.
So, shortly introduce our company. We are Swarovski Crystal Business, part of the Swarovski Group, having 1.8 billion of revenues as per 2023. We are currently in more than 140 countries active, with more than 2,300 owned shops, and we are having currently between 16,000 and 7,000 colleagues working with us to make our jewelry nice for all the ladies out there.
And now let's speak about the initial situation, what was the strategic problem, and what are the key facts. So first of all, these were the strategic problems. So first of all, we have a high volume of manual ordering, resulting in low process efficiency and high procurement costs. At that time, only 15%, so 15% of our orders raised in our ordering system of indirect material and services, which is Ariba guided buying, were automated. Second is, we have a high volume of suppliers, especially one-time suppliers. At that time, our purchase order compliance was pretty low. Only 50% of our spend was covered with a purchase order. And third, we have fragmented data and inconsistent processes. And also we were missing guidance for our users. At that time, also the user interface was not standard, not state of the art.
So we brought also a few pictures for you to show our deep value chain that we have. This is really our production facilities where we are melting the glass. Then we bring it into shape, we form it, and then later on we cut it, we polish it, and we coat it. And throughout this whole value chain, we need to source components, materials, raw materials, machines, whatever. And in each process, we have also tail spend. And also, when it comes then to quality control or sorting of our articles at the end of the production line, everywhere we see that we had the need to intervene to say, okay, how do we make these small topics which people need on a daily basis more efficient to get ordered and bring it also on the shop floor level.
And we also need to source IT equipment for our workstations. And in addition, all Swarovski stores are designed and built by Swarovski. For these, we also need to have an ordering system, or ordering process. And we also need to raise purchase orders for marketing campaigns. So this is, for example, what you see is in New York. And we also need to raise purchase orders for photographers, but also models. So this is a picture from the Met Gala in New York. All these dresses were designed and produced in-house. And finally, it's a real one, by the way, we also need to raise a purchase order for sheeps to replace mowers in our Kristallwelten in Austria. So as you can see, it's quite a sustainable solution. So we also call it sheep as a service. All right, now let's speak about a couple of key facts. So we are fortunate to just have one ERP system, which is connected with the Ariba suite, consisting of 5 different modules. With our purchasing organization, we are present in 35 countries, and we have more than 60 company codes or entities connected. At the moment, we have about 10,000 suppliers. As you can see, we already decreased it from 15,000. What you see here colored in green are numbers from our ordering system, which is Ariba guided buying, which we use for expense materials, which is mostly indirect material and services. At the moment, we have about 400 catalogs in place and about 1,500 requesters raising an order. And we have about 100,000 purchase order lines in Ariba guided buying, which is like half of the ordering volume or ordering transactions we have in total. Interestingly is that only 6% of our purchase orders, not of our purchase orders, of our suppliers, account for 80% of our total spend. So as you can see, we have quite a huge supply base, and the tail spend is indeed a topic for us.
So now let's see how we tackled this approach to come in with catalogs and marketplaces to solve the tail spend topic, or at least to embark the journey, because it will never end. So we had 3 points for us that defined to how we tackle it. First, we streamlined the buying channels by defining clear guidance to the users. How do we did that? We introduced a source-to-pay policy. We introduced a payment terms policy. We also introduced contracting guidelines, and this throughout our whole Swarovski crystal business world. As a second step, or in parallel, we also checked our supplier base, and we consolidated and reduced this supplier base by having a clear structured way of how we want to segment our suppliers. And last but not least, the most important step then was, or coming then to the end user community, to boost it by loading internal and external catalogs into our buying system and enhancing this also with marketplaces such as Amazon Business.
Now let's go into a little bit more detail. As you see, I like animals. So as we already heard from Ralph, we implemented this source-to-pay policy, and one of the key statements is no purchase order, no pay. What does it mean? If we get an invoice with a missing purchase order reference, we're going to reject the invoice unless it's one of the approved and general exceptions, which is maintained in the vendor master data team. We already made a huge success. So over the last couple of years, we managed to increase the purchase order compliance from 50%, 50, to 97%, which is quite high. This actually allows us to have these costs approved before they are spent. And important to mention is not that we reject the payments to our suppliers. We just want our suppliers to comply with the invoicing requirements. And we also thought about and came up with different buying channels. So this slide, what you see here, this is also what we regularly use for our internal users when we do communication and training. So basically, here, this is the different priority of choice. For us, the highest priority of choice are catalogs. We have internal catalogs, we have external catalogs in place. So internal means we maintain it by our own. External means we have a bunch of integration, which is done by our suppliers. We also have an own dedicated content enablement team that helps us to load these catalogs. Second priority of choice are marketplaces, such as Amazon. And the third priority is the tail spend consolidator. So what is it? It's an external supplier that helps us order and pay low-value purchases, of suppliers that are currently not active in our system. This helps us to avoid supplier onboarding. The last priority of choice are P cards. A P card is like a virtual credit card or a regular classic plastic card, which is handed to certain users within the organization. Here's to mention for this fourth option, there's no purchase order in our system. That's why it's also the last option.
So let's see now a few facts and how we implemented Amazon Business into our ecosystem. So a few facts. We have currently active 6 marketplaces, 5 in EU and 1 in the United States. With these 6 marketplaces, we are present in 12 countries, serving 19 company codes or entities. And this year we predict that we already transact more than 7,000 purchase order lines over it, which is doubling the number of last year, which gives us a good feeling that we are on the right way and have a user high acceptance. So this is now a technical graph how we implemented it. And it's, as I said, we have one central buying system for indirect, for tail spend, throughout the whole company. And with single sign-on, everybody in the company which has an email address can log in. And in the countries where Amazon Business is present, they can either search directly in the buying solution, or they can punch out to the catalog or to the marketplace, get the items, come back, and then submit it. Once it's ordered, then it's automatically from our ERP system sent over the Ariba network to Amazon Business, and all follow-on processes like order confirmation or invoices. Once the goods issue is done from Amazon, we also receive in a digital way without any manual intervenience. So it's really, except the first touch point where the user is really entering the demand, the rest is flowing automatically for our system. The last touch point is then when the payment run is started by our accountants. So we can here say this year 7,000 purchase order lines are automated.
Now let's speak a little bit about the benefits that Amazon Business brings for our organization. So first of all, it simplifies the purchases. As we already heard, users just go to Ariba Guided Buying, then they're connected to the Amazon page automatically. And then they can just simply search for the items they need to order. For us, we did not have an issue with the adoption because Amazon is widely known to the users. So we even purposely decided not to have any one-on-one training or group training. So what we did, we just recorded 3 minutes video in German and English, and that's it. And actually it worked. Then there's a high product variety. As you heard in the beginning, we are quite creative. We need samples, we need any specialized tools. They are available on Amazon. And we even activated Amazon Business Prime in all regions. And order on invoice, which is another benefit for our organization because we do not have a credit note maintained in the system. So we get an invoice from Amazon. And the last point, which was already explained by Ralf, we have a fully automated process when it comes to ordering and invoicing. And now, I mean, you have seen a couple of fancy slides, but what we also are going to present today, so we've recorded a short video in our production environment. So this is what you see, how it actually looks in our system. So this is the Ariba Guided Buying page, which is available for the business. They now click either on the Amazon tile, or they go to the search and enter the product they want to order. So here we order like chocolate, which we regularly give to our customers as well as employees. They click on a button, and now they're even directed to Amazon page. They just click on Add to Basket. There is no need to fill out any further information like delivery address, and then they immediately bunch it back to the Ariba Guided Buying page. Once it's in Ariba Guided Buying once more, they just need to do final clicks. So for example, they need to check the cost object, and then they just click on Submit. And then within seconds, within a minute, the purchase order was being sent to Amazon. So here, Amazon helped us to actually increase the visibility, and we also have an option to restrict certain product selection. So there are a couple of guardrails also which is set up in our system. Then here, this is one of the success stories. Maybe you've heard in the beginning, we only had an automation rate of 15% when it comes to, so 1.5, when it comes to ordering indirect materials and services within our organization. What you see here are actually actual data. So at the moment, we are at 63% of a self-service ratio. This means procurement is not involved. So once an order is being raised, it's being automatically sent to our suppliers, which means it allows us that the buyer is able to dedicate their time on more value-added works or tasks instead of thinking about any manual PR handling. What you see around the circle, this is actually split by the so-called buying channels, which you heard earlier. So for us, as you can see, our catalog is still with the highest proportion. However, what you also see, Amazon's business definitely on rise. And also is one of the, it also supports us in our overall success to be at 63%.
And now maybe as a last point, what's coming next? So we have seen what we have achieved. Now we would like quickly talk what in our procurement journey is coming next. So tail spend is a topic which never ends. You embark it, but you will never finish it. And here we are looking into opportunities, especially in the APAC region. We are still looking how we could achieve their higher rate in automating tail spend. Then, as we all, I guess, all customers have the same topic, sustainability. It's in our heart, also in our company strategies, anchored that sustainability is one of our major pillars. But we have also to embark the digital journey here even more. We started, we are making good progress, but we are not yet there where we want to be. And obviously, AI is everywhere. So also we have to look into where we can boost it. We have small pilots where we're looking into internally how this can be evolved. But we are also hoping that in our ecosystem, our partners, where we have our software providers, they are evolving, that we can grow together with them. So two facets, with the external partners and internally we try to make this happen. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. You've been so comprehensive, nobody's asked any questions on Slido. So if you want to get in quick, you can do, because we've got a couple of minutes left. So I'm going to ask you a question. In terms of supplier consolidation, what have you been able to do in terms of reducing the number of supplier records you're having to maintain as a consequence of your consolidation journey for tail spend?
So obviously we have also our data lake where we checked our supplier base and we said how many one-offs we have and how often frequently they are used. So one-off means once, so 12 months, 18 months. And we, first of all, we created a process how to block supplier regularly. So we say every supplier which is not making business with us within 18 months, we cut it away. And it has to be re-registered in our systems, and then we see, okay, when it's coming in again, often it's either available in a marketplace or already in a catalog or in another, in the tail spend consolidator, so we even need to create it anymore. So this was one big exercise that we did, that really have strict processes on say, how can a new supplier come in our organization and also do the cleaning what we have done, and then to see also, okay, if we have 500 office suppliers, why do we have 500 office suppliers for one country? That's not the case. And we have also blocked the ones and said, okay, we have now one catalog with one preferred supplier in that country or in that region.
And maybe just to add on, we also did supplier segmentation within procurement. So we also, the category manager, they just analyzed their spend and they just defined which ones are the biggest and main suppliers, which also helped us reduce the supplier base.
So we have got some questions now, thank you. I'm going to blend a couple together because they touch on the same theme. One is around understanding the onboarding process of Amazon Business and how long it took and how complex that was to do with SAP Ariba. So kind of what was that project time frame and how did you find that process?
Mm-hmm. So maybe I start and you can add. Yeah. So first of all, we decided to just go with one marketplace. I don't know if I clicked. So we just decided to just go with one marketplace as a pilot. And this took us a couple of weeks. I think it was 4 to 6 weeks for one marketplace. So we had a small little project team of Swarovski, but also of Amazon Business project members. And after the pilot, we decided to do the remaining ones. Usually you do like one marketplace after the other. So we just gave a little bit of a challenge to Amazon team because we said we want to have 4 or 5 marketplaces at once. And then the project manager just looked at me and said, no, this is usually what we do not do. And it's like, okay, well, but I want to have 4 marketplaces at once. And then they basically just came back to us and said, okay, challenge accepted. And we finally did like 4 marketplaces at once, which was, I think, a total of 2 months. So it actually worked out quite well.
And a question I did want somebody to ask, so whoever asked it, I'm very grateful. How do you make sure that your users don't misuse or abuse Amazon Business as an opportunity?
Okay, so when we went live, we obviously, so once in a week or every 2 weeks, we screened the purchase orders and checked the ones with the higher value, because that's normally where you see the misuse. And we found out in the beginning that someone ordered a KitchenAid. And we wondered, what the heck is someone ordering a KitchenAid in our company? And we asked the guy, because we know he's working in a production, quite a normal guy, and he said, oh, he's using it to mix substances, which he did manually, and he saw this, now this machine, and he's using it now on the production side to mix the substances, so he can do other work, and he's reduced in a week 4 to 6 hours of work, and he used now this KitchenAid. And we have really then screened, always when we went live on a random basis, we picked out the higher prices or random checks to seeing what, if someone is abusing. This is not that this is an automated checking, it's really once in a while we screen through it and check it what has been ordered, which is a bit strange, or not strange, but we do not have any cases.
And for those of you who don't know, our data is built on AWS, so there's inbuilt dashboards. You can see to a SKU level, a user level, an order level, a category level. All of the data and the data dashboards are pre-built for you to report upwards and outwards. And you can also block items, subcategories. You know, if you want to understand a bit more about that, come to the stand and we can talk about it in detail. I'm interested to know, and this is going to be the last question, I think. I'm interested to know, this is a question that was asked, what was your biggest learning from working with Amazon Business? And feedback is a gift, so...
Just try it out, and then it works. So for us, the feedback was low adoption issues. I mean, we implement technical solution or procurement solutions on a regular basis. And for us, I mean, Amazon, as it's known, and I assume most of you use it for your private shopping. So that's why we had low adoption issues compared to others, and also the cooperation was just went quite well. So.
And for me, one lesson learned: we have, as said before, we have 2,300 stores all over the world, and in the countries where we live, we have also stores, and we had no buying solution in those stores. They had to fill out spreadsheets, send it to the local organization, and there was someone typing in. Now we really have the local store staff raising orders when they need the things, because our stores, they need things, whatever, for the lighting or for something else, for spare parts or whatever. Certain materials they need on a regular basis, and a store, our sparkling stores without a light is not really nice to see.
Maybe just to add, less is more. So, I mean, we often get a question like, are you afraid if someone is, as we heard, misusing it, or you order items which they should not, or they just overspend? So we just learned less restriction and less control is actually better. Just open it up, let it go, and then you will see. If there's any requirement to restrict the product selection, either, let's say, on Amazon platform, or you also implement any, let's say, restriction or warning messages in Ariba guided buying. So less is more.
And I guess to that point, you know, what I'd say is you can't do something about spend you can't see, yeah? So you can't stop people spending, you can't challenge rogue buying behaviour if it's on a P card and it's hidden on expenses. So actually getting that spend into a platform where you can see the data and then make informed decisions, I think that is where that power comes in. Thanks.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.